Hey, I decided since it was fresh on my mind from the Hell Night video, I would go ahead and make a second part to it because it's now since I started talking about it, I started remembering things. Okay, and so one thing I want to make really clear is because I'm trying to be extremely fair and as factually accurate as I can remember. Keep in mind, this has been 30 years ago. Okay, um, so I'm sure some of my details are fuzzy, but not completely. Anyway, really the only ones who really involved in Hell Night, from my recollection, were basically the first year guys who were the ones who were the victims, and then you had the second year Marines who just think it's the greatest thing in the world, and maybe a squad leader or two, but I remember distinctly that neither rifle inspector was present at all. Okay, and they were smarter. They were smarter than that. And so I just want to make that clear. It wasn't the entire drill team. Of course, I said the platoon commander, platoon sergeant, they weren't there either, and neither were the two rifle inspectors. So basically, you just had a bunch of second year senior Marines, belittling and harassing and defacing your first year guys. So anyway, I wanted to. I've been trying to keep everything on its timeline from like the whole 2 years I was there. But I want to jump ahead in my second year so I can get just clear the Hell Night thing up altogether. And so, of course, fast forward to 1991, we're in Yuma, Arizona. It comes down to Challenge Day, just like it did the last time, and then of course Hell Nights after that. Well, it the guy I told you about before, the guy named Beasley, he was still there because he was the platoon guide at this point in time. He was actually involved in this whole thing. So this guy, like I said before, he was absolutely a lunatic, a psychopath like I've never seen in my entire life. Everything his whole life was like party to the max, live free or die. Um, he caused a lot of trouble. Anyway, he's involved, and so we did the exact same stuff that we had done the year before, as dressing, the whole 9 yards. The only thing that I really did to be very, very, just be completely honest, was I took a banana and I smushed it all up in a big clump and put it in a toilet, and I blindfolded some of these guys and made them reach their hand in the toilet and squeeze it like they thought it was a pile of shit, and it was just a banana, but they thought it was a pile of turds. I mean, that's not really harmful. I mean, not really. It's kind of in your mind. It's sickening, but it was just a banana. Promise. Not even a chocolate banana. Just a banana. So anyway, again, we videotaped it because this is becoming a regular thing. After the fact, we're going to sit back in the common room. We're going to watch it and laugh our little asses off. So we did. Well, I said that to step to the next part where I left the barracks in December of 1991. We had gone to the Netherlands to do a deal over there with the Dutch Marines. And we came back, it's December, and we're done. And so I transferred out. Well, I said before, it's a 2-year duty, but if you are exceptional and you get selected as a rifle inspector, if you try out and are good, you usually have about 4 or 5 guys trying out for rifle inspector, so they choose 2. If you're that good, then you're going to stay, of course, because you got to be a rifle inspector, and they always choose 3 squad leaders as well. Okay, these are Marines who have either gotten meritoriously promoted or have stood out in some kind of way. All right, they showed good leadership. I don't know. I didn't want to stay a 3rd year, and I certainly wasn't going to be asked to. Okay, because I was just done with this whole mess. And so, but 3, 4, like 5 of my friends, they stayed back, and they stayed their 3rd year. The rest of us went down to Camp Lejeune. One guy went to 29 Palms, who wound up later on being a huge steroid addict. That's another story. Anyway, so in '92, I'm at Camp Lejeune, and I found out really quickly that the Hell Night thing had gone on again, but this time there was some trouble because 2 of the Marines wound up taking exception to this, because like I said before, Hell Night gets worse and worse every year because you're always trying to outdo the year prior. Okay, so I'm not sure all that happened. I know that the jug of tobacco spit was just an all-time drill team favorite. Because almost everybody on the entire drill team back then chewed tobacco or dipped snuff or something. Okay, it was just we all just chewed the hell out of some tobacco. Anyway, I found later on these two Marines were kicked out of the Marine Corps after the fact, but a bunch of my buddies got kicked out of the drill team and they got sent down to Camp Lejeune. Okay, they got busted in rank and got sent down to Camp Lejeune. And honestly, and as much as I love these guys to this day, they deserved it. And because you should gotta have better discipline than this. Okay, you were stationed at the oldest post in the Marine Corps. It is like the Marine Corps is like a cult. It's almost like a religion to the Marines because we just love it so much. Or it's a love-hate thing, but it's just something that's just in you. Ever hear people say, "Hey, I was in the service when they were in the Marine Corps." Okay, Army, Navy, Air Force. Those guys say, "I was in the service." You never hear that said by Marines. They always like, "No, I was in the Marines. I was in the Marine Corps. I'm a grunt. I'm a devil dog." Okay, you don't ever hear Marines say, "I was in the service." It just doesn't compute. Okay, we thought we were better than everybody else. That's where I'm getting to. Recurring theme here. We thought we were better than everybody else. Okay, and so the Marine barracks is like I guess like Vatican City is to the Roman Catholic Church. It's like that's like the pinnacle, the Shangri-La of all places. I mean, the commandant's house is there. A bunch of generals live there. It's a beautiful place. It's also very haunted too. So if you ever get a chance to go up there and take a tour, there's some crazy stuff that's written in the some of the journals of the NCO, the duty NCOs. Crazy weird stuff that goes way back to the 1800s. I mean, it's some scary shit, and I'm not kidding. I mean, walking around a place at night by myself, a little bit nerve-wracking at times. There's places I never went that I just told you just don't go down there. Anything that's that old has got to be haunted. So anyway, get back to my story. Well, here's where it gets weird. Okay, those two Marines that they didn't like the harassment, the hazing, naturally, so I understand. They got a hold of the tape, the videotape that didn't get erased or taped over, and they went to the chaplain with this tape and said, "Boo-hoo, we got harassed and hazed, and I'm so upset." And so the chaplain went to the commandant of the Marine Corps straight to the top, and from that point on, head started to roll. Investigations went on. Here's the thing, okay, and here's the thing. I didn't know the two Marines that were picked on or singled out. Okay, I don't know that. I never met them, but I do know one of my absolute best friends in the whole world, who I trust with my life, was there. Okay, he was the platoon guide that year, and he told me everything that happened, and I believe him. And also, that was corroborated by another Marine who I also know very well, who was also there. That these two guys, after they joined after they made the drill team, they kind of started being a little out of control. Okay, they became big time party guys, and they were going to be kicked off the drill team when they got back from the West Coast tour. Because like I said, you're in Yuma, Arizona, you go straight on your West Coast tour, then you go back to DC, get ready for parade season. So these two guys started causing trouble, and it was like a well-known fact they're going to get burned when they get back to DC. Well, in order to basically, get one over on the drill team, they found themselves a nice little way to get some sympathy. All right, and so as was told to me by someone who was there, that these guys got on television. I was living at the time and when this came out on TV, I was living. It was 1993. I was in Charlotte, and I saw it on television. It was on one of those. I hate television with a passion, and I hate the networks because they're communists. But it was on a show called Primetime Live, and boy, if they didn't just torch the Marine Corps in general and the Marine barracks as well. And they tried to implicate Peter Pace, who I said in the previous video, the best Marine I've ever known. They tried to make him look bad, tried to make us all look bad. And of course, they interviewed those two guys, and I heard that one of them got like $100 grand. $100,000 to get on there and lie. Made it sound like, you know, the hazing is what caused his trouble, and he started drinking because of it. He couldn't deal with it, and that's absolutely not true. Okay, what is true is they didn't. They started being the party guys before that, and were in major trouble, and were going to be kicked off. So they went ahead and you know, saw themselves a nice little opportunity. Okay, so I wanted to set that straight because, again, I was not present for this thing, but the guys I have talked to independently of each other who were there, who I know very, very well, I trust them. Okay, I know these guys. I mean, I was on the drill team with these guys for 2 years. I know, I understand this whole situation. But again, I don't want to excuse the behavior because the behavior was horrible. It should never, ever have happened. You don't do that. There's no reason for hazing. There's no reason for all the dumb stuff that we did. It was just, we were totally, completely out of control. Okay? So after that, in 1992, from what I was told by my friend, they went on total lockdown. They got rid of the platoon sergeant. I think they got rid of the platoon commander, brought new guys in, and from that point on, it was just miserable for them. They didn't have the freedom they used to have. It was bad news for them. And you know what? That's the way it goes. I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? So I do believe, just based off my own personal opinion, I have not been back to Washington, D.C. since I left in December of 91 to see a parade or even visit the barracks. I don't want to. I don't want to be up there ever again. My buddy, who was a rifle inspector, he went up there a few years ago, and he said it just wasn't the same. He said he took a tour. They let him around. He said the place looked kind of dirty, didn't look spotless like it used to. The Marines just didn't have the same type of spunk we had. I blame that partly on the culture in general, the society in general. We're just going down a downhill slope, and also the fact that I think all the stuff that happened during the years, I really believe the incident in 1992 really set the stage for the future, because it's just not the same. I mean, you can, to an outsider, if you're not in the military, or you're just a big fan and you watch it, you think it's the greatest thing you ever saw. But I can't sit there. I have watched a lot of YouTube videos with these guys and throughout the years, and I'm critical as I can be. It's just, they just look like trash to me. And that's not to demean the drill team now. I'm really not trying to do that. I'm just saying, they don't look sharp like they used to. They're missing something, okay? I don't know why. It's just the way it is. Maybe it's natural that you think that when you're there, it's the best it could have ever been, and after that, everything's trash. But I do know that they've had other hazing incidences throughout the last 25 years. I think they had one a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I heard somewhere 3 guys got kicked off for hazing. And while I'm thinking about it, the hazing was not limited just to Hell Night. Hell Night was like the big party, but what also transpired, which is brutal as hell, is if you got a promotion, and a lot of Marines on the drill team, okay, they have company boards that you can go up for. And basically, they take a representative from each platoon. First, I'm not talking about B company, I'm talking about A company. First, second platoon in the drill team, and you would go before a board of NCOs and usually one officer. Okay, and then you have to march in there and stand at attention. They're going to ask you a lot of questions. Every question came from the battle drill guide. Okay, so if you knew your battle drill guide, you're good to go. I went up for 2 boards. I went for a meritorious was it? I was like, yeah, it was a meritorious corporal board. I went for that. I didn't win. But after that, I went for the Marine of the Quarter board and did win. Okay, and I was kind of shocked, but yeah, that's the way it goes. But a lot of the drill team Marines wind up winning these boards, and a lot of times guys get meritoriously promoted because of it. All right, so can't speak about it now, but I know back then, if you were meritoriously promoted, especially to corporal, it was not a fun day for you after the fact, because if you know anything about the Marine Corps, on your dress blues, okay, We wore blue whites a lot, but in the wintertime we wore just regular dress blues. If you ever notice, you look at a platoon of Marines in dress blues, you'll see some of them have a red stripe up the side of their trousers there, and that's symbolic. Okay, that's NCOs and officers wear that red stripe. You have to earn it. Okay, by becoming an E4, or if you're an officer, you automatically get it. And that goes back to a battle that the Marine Corps fought. I think it was Chapultepec, maybe. Symbolic. Go look it up. I don't have time to talk about it. Anyway, that's called a blood stripe. Okay. Now, if you are meritoriously promoted to corporal, or if you're promoted to corporal in general, you get run through the gauntlet. And everybody who's at least a corporal, keep in mind, all these guys up there are on their first enlistment. Okay, so there's a whole lot of PSCs and lance corporals, and every now and then there's corporals, but there's very few times there are any sergeants. Most of these guys are corporals, and you get to run through a gauntlet. Okay, so they get to pin your stripes on you on your shoulders first. Okay, so you walk through there and they get to hit you, and then you come back through there and they'll knee you in the side of your leg to pin on your blood stripes. Okay. Here's the difference. This is every corporal who was on the drill team, which there were several. Okay, we had maybe 10 or 12, maybe, yeah, something like that. They all got to hit you. Okay, and if you got meritoriously promoted, then every other Marine who had been meritoriously promoted, they also got to hit you twice. Okay, so not you're running through a gauntlet of, let's say, 12 guys, and you get hit in the arms, kneed in the legs, which you can't imagine that kind of pain. You just can't imagine it. And it's as hard as they can go. It's not like they give you a little bump. I mean, they're rearing back, and they might take a run down the hall and come slam into your leg, and you just go down in a heap. And so if you pass out, they'll pick you up and make sure that you get some water and wake up, and they'll hit you again. And they'll keep hitting you until everybody gets their licks in. Thank God Almighty, I did not get promoted to corporal while I was on the drill team, because I truly probably would have turned it down, because I saw a lot of my friends get that happen to. We had one time where like 5 Marines got promoted to corporal in like one day, and Lord have mercy, we had a show that night too somewhere, maybe it was Kentucky, and these guys had to march. And they were doped up on the heaviest dose of Motrin you could find, because they couldn't stand up. They could hardly hold the weapon. These guys had bruises on their arms and their legs for months. I mean, this one guy, he had a bruise so deep it went from his outside of his leg to his thigh to the inner side of his thigh. Okay, this is dangerous shit, and this went on not every single day, but every single month. If someone got promoted, they got their ass beat. And again, the platoon sergeant, platoon commander, they weren't around. They didn't see all this stuff going on. I'm not implicating them. I'm just saying this was the culture of the drill team. Okay, it may still be there today. I don't know. I'm not talking to anybody who's there now. This is the early '90s, and it was brutal as hell. And I got promoted to lance corporal because I got it automatically. Because if you're in the Marine Corps at least a year and a half and you don't do anything stupid, you get promoted. So of course I got my ass beat by everybody. I mean, the whole platoon, anybody who's at least lance corporal and above got to beat my ass. So yeah, that was super painful. Anyway, I just want to wrap up while I was thinking about it. I'll probably come back to it at some point in time, but I want to get all that stuff out so we can get back to talking about daily life on the drill team, because it was pretty interesting if you're into that kind of thing. But this is kind of giving me a chance to talk about it. Or again, I was originally going to write a book, and I've been thinking about it for years and years, and I keep starting it, and then I'll just think, nah, I don't want to do this. Who cares? No one gives a shit. But I thought with the fact that I got a phone and I can get on record myself talking about it, let's put it on my YouTube channel. And if you notice, my YouTube channel is just a hodgepodge of stuff. I'm not trying to get viewers. I'm not trying to get money. I'm just talking about stuff that I dealt with. Okay. I'd really like if you went and watched my daughter's videos. She was an amazing runner in high school and college, but she was especially good in high school. She was very inspirational. Anyway, that's all I had to say about Hell Night and hazing for now.